sit here in Pagiel's barn, I'm conflicted, I guess. Or maybe I'm getting fresh clarification of something that's so painfully obvious. The new understanding, the new concept, the new, I guess, eye-opener, and it's so stupidly obvious. You know, Pagiel did nothing to deserve this. He took up a wrong path. He fell into sin. He listened to the wrong voice. He was absorbed by demonic. He embraced it. But God, through some sort of incomprehensible grace, for some inconceivable mercy, stepped in, interfered, interrupted, and in a climatic, powerful moment, took back what belonged to him. And he took it back from the enemy. And he restored life where there was death. He restored his child who had been blinded and abused. Isn't that just like God? I think of the people of Israel. 400 years in slavery. Totally blind to the God of Israel. Already themselves worshiping the multiple demons of Egypt. Blind. Dead. And yet somehow God dramatically interfered and interrupted their world. God stepped in and embarrassed and silenced and broke the power of those demons. God set his people free and sent them on a new journey. And in a moment of powerful, dramatic change, he freed his people from the grips of Satan. And they marched across the Red Sea, and it was impossible. Everything they did was impossible. Everywhere they went was impossible. God opened the Red Sea. God destroyed the Egyptians. God fed them from heaven. They did nothing. They didn't even know God. They did nothing to deserve it. They did nothing to do it. They did nothing to cause it. They didn't even ask for it. God did it. He redeemed his people because that's who he is. And he took his people back to be his own. And he taught them about love on Mount Sinai. And he proved his provision with the manna in the wilderness. He proved his protection against the snakes in the wilderness. He provided water from a rock and food from heaven. Their sandals didn't wear out. Their clothing didn't wear out. He provided everything they needed to a people who didn't even know him. But they did. They learned to know him. They learned to follow him. They worshiped him with time. But they did nothing to deserve him. Isn't that true in this Pagiel story too? Pagiel's done nothing here. God's doing it all. God freed him from the hand of Satan. God's providing for that family in miraculous and unimaginable ways. He's shown his love through people, oh my goodness, through people who've just loved in this family. God's showing himself. And I guess there's a piece of me that thinks this is a unique story. But it's not. It's not a unique story. In one way or another, God does this for every single one of us. This is an eye-opener for me. It's an incredible story. There's nothing special about Pagiel and his mom. Nothing unique. Nothing deserving. It's just God. It's just God doing what God does. So standing in this barn is maybe a little like standing in the middle of the Red Sea. Maybe it's a little like standing in the middle of the Nile River when God turned it to blood and made a mockery of Satan. Maybe it's a little bit like standing in that cloud of smoke when God blinded the enemy. Standing in this barn, it's nothing special, it's just an old barn. But this is where God stopped the hand of Satan and took back his people to himself.